everyone. Welcome back again to another session of Let's Explore Columbia. Today you're joining me at Columbia's historic schoolhouse that you can see behind me. This is the oldest two-story brick schoolhouse in California. It was built in about 1860 and was in use for close to 80 years. If you look at this classroom, you can see there's if you look at the schoolhouse, you can see there's two classrooms. So there's the bottom classroom and the top classroom. All the students would be in this building. Tell me in the comments, do you think all the students at your school could fit into a schoolhouse this size? Let me know. Let's go on in and explore it. So if you are in first grade, second grade, third grade, or fourth grade, you're gonna be in the bottom classroom. If you're a fifth grade, sixth grader, you would be seventh grader or eighth grader, you'd be in the top classroom. Now I know the top classroom looks pretty cool. Looks like you have a pretty nice view. If you look around us, we're located on top of a hill. So we're away from the city. So every day you'd have to hike up here. And if you are an older student and you're in the top classroom, you also have to go up this very tall staircase every single day as well. So you can imagine that's some workout for those students. Let's go inside the bottom classroom. This would be where the teacher would enter the classroom from. So come on in. But wait, before you do that, I have to share with you some rules. Because you know there's going to be lots of rules in school, just like there's rules today. Here are some rules. Some of them will be familiar to you, the rules that you have at your school as well. First rule, raise your hand. Also, no gum. Do not wear hats inside the classroom. Do not run. Do not throw anything. Those are rules that are similar to the ones you have today, except back then, if you disobeyed any of these rules, you could get whacked. You could get whacked with a ruler or with a cane. That's what teachers could do back then if you misbehaved. So you want to be on your best behavior at all times. If you were caught lying or stealing or cheating, you could be expelled. So there's a lot of rules. Remember those rules as you walk around and look at the classroom. So you can see that the classroom is divided into two different sections. The boys would be on one section of the classroom, and the girls would be on the other section of the classroom. It's 2 students per desk. Make sure you do not carve on your desk. If you carve on your desk, you could be expelled as well. Here's what a typical student's desk would look like. So you can see they would have their readers, kind of like their textbooks. They would read together as a class and do lessons. They would have their feather quill on each desk. You can see there's a little inkwell. So you dip your quill in it, and that's how you would write. Most of the time, you'd be writing on a slate and chalk. Another really important rule, never hit your slate over anyone's head. If you know what I'm referring to, if you know who I'm referring to, let me know in the comments. Never hit your slate over anyone's head. Now, if you misbehave, have some bad news for you. You could be labeled the class dunce. If you misbehave or you get a question wrong, your teacher could make you sit up here in the front of the classroom, in front of all the other students, wearing the dunce cap. You might have to wear the dunce cap for an hour if you did something really, really bad. Very, very embarrassing. Make sure you're not the class dunce. Over here we have a map of all the routes to California, overland and by sea. So this is where different people came from to California during the gold rush. You can see they would travel from the Midwest, or they could come by ship, places like Boston or New York City, travel all the way around South America in order to reach San Francisco. So this gives you an idea of where different people came from and how diverse Columbia was. Now let's look at some other features in the classroom. So we have this giant coal stove used to heat the room since it does get very cold. Over here we have an organ. Music was very important in the lessons as well, so the player would sit here and play different songs. Here are the lyrics to the song, "Oh California." Let's go to the back of the classroom. So back then, on these chalkboards, they wrote in cursive. Really important to know cursive. Let me know in the comments, do you know how to write in cursive? You can see here, here's some of the chores before. Students would have to do these chores. Every day before school starts, clean the windows, bring in firewood, fill the water basin. At the end of the day, because your work was not over, clean the chalkboard erasers, sweep the floor, clean the privies or the bathrooms, which are located outside. Back here we have this very small little desk, wooden desk you can see. Tell me in the comments, what grade do you think a desk like this would belong to? What grade? I'll give you a couple seconds to answer. If you can believe it or not, this would actually be a 4th grader's desk. A 4th grader would fit inside of this desk. So just like yesterday when I showed you that bathtub in the merchant's house, bathtub was smaller because adults were smaller, desks were smaller because children were smaller as well. Let's go over here. Now, I tried my best to write in cursive, and I have a pop quiz for all of you right now, so get ready. Here's your question. Who was president in 1861? Who was president in 1861? I'll give you choices, A, B, and C. You can choose A, James Buchanan, B, Abraham Lincoln, or C, Andrew Johnson. I'll repeat it again. Who was president in 1861? A, James Buchanan, B, Abraham Lincoln, or C, Andrew Johnson? Let me know in the comments. Who do you think? In addition to trying to avoid being the class dunce, you also want to make sure you don't have to stay an hour after school. If you have to stay an hour after school because you misbehave, your name's going to go on the board for everyone to see. Pretty embarrassing. Pop quiz is now over. If you chose B, Abraham Lincoln, you are correct. Good job, everyone. If you did not choose Abraham Lincoln, you could potentially be the class dunce. Let's continue. Also make sure, for students, always have your hands above the desk so your teachers can make sure your fingers are clean and you're not messing around. It's very important to show up clean for the day because when you come into the classroom, your teachers are going to check your fingernails, your ears, and your neck. Very important to scrub. Now, here is the teacher's desk. You can see it's above so that they can see the students. If you're a teacher out there, I'm going to tell you some of the rules you'd have to follow if you were a teacher in 1852. I have them down here. So teachers, every day you have to fill the lamps and clean the chimney. You also have to bring in a bucket and coal for the day's session. Male teachers can only take 1 night off a week in order to go on dates. Maybe you'll meet a wife. They want you to get married. For female teachers, as soon as you get married, you're dismissed from school in 1852. Now, it wasn't all hard work for kids. Kids back then were still kids just like you are today, so they would have different toys that they could play with. So let's look at some of the toys. So you can see they would play with things like wooden blocks, dolls that are made out of cheaper material than like porcelain dolls, things that would be easy to make. You can see this little game of like a ball with this cup. You have to try to get the ball inside the cup. Over here is like a wooden slinky toy. So most of the toys would be made out of wood. Here's a little painted top that they could play with as well. I'm not very good at this game though. And for the really little kids, we have this little sheep toy made out of wood, little wooden wheels, and a string that could be pulled as well. Let me know in the comments. Oh, one last toy. This ball as well. Pretty simple, easily made. Let me know in the comments, what was your favorite toy that you saw here? What toy would you play with if you were a student back then? Thank you everyone for joining me today for this schoolhouse lesson. I look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow, same time, same place. Before I go, I want to big shout out to Miss Asherbrander's class. Bye everyone.